Hello everyone, my name is Silver Willowing and today we're gonna talk dragons. We're gonna talk How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. We're gonna talk a review. We're gonna talk spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, escape now. I have a spoiler-free review ready for you on my channel as well, so you can go ahead and check that out instead if you just want one where it's an overall idea of the movie and not spoilers, because there's gonna be spoilers in this one. I'll be talking about everything that I liked and everything I didn't like. So hurry away if you don't want to hear spoilers about the movie. So if you did watch the movie, or if you just don't care about spoilers, then stick around because we're gonna have a little bit of chat about How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. So I went and watched How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World on the 28th of January. It got out in my country earlier than America, and wherever you live it might have come even earlier. The release dates were all over the place, it was confusing. So I went ahead and saw How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. Now, I knew a lot about this movie before going in. I didn't know the whole overall story, but a lot of things had been spoiled to me, and I kind of had to just let it be spoiled so I could cover it for other people that wanted spoilers as well. But I don't think that necessarily lessened my experience, because there was still a lot of stuff that I had no idea was going to happen, and what would happen and what wouldn't happen and everything. Like there was a lot of new stuff, so I don't think that it ruined anything for me. So the movie is obviously about Hiccup and Toothless splitting up. That's how it goes pretty much. It shows how Hiccup's way of life isn't sustainable. There's too many dragons, they're too big of a target, and there's too many enemies out there that want to harm their dragons or use them for evil, similar to how Draco would and did. And there are several warlords that wants to do this, and they're having trouble because Hiccup's kind of fighting in and taking all the dragons. But they are the biggest freaking dragon nest that's just out there in the open on Berg now. There's so many dragons there. We see this shot where they're flying and there's like dragons everywhere. There's a lot of dragons and it isn't sustainable, and the new threat come along, which is Geronimo, and he of course is a big problem. He's very cunning, and he got into Berg with like no trouble at all. Even though there's so many dragons around to possibly track him down, he still just came straight in and just like, so that was a big security breach right there, and Hiccup kind of panics. And since everyone flying off into finding this new world far away and hiding out, and they find this new island which is like Newburgh, and try to how to hide out there, but of course it doesn't work, and eventually they have to let the dragons go back to the hidden world. So that's pretty much it. And of course there is the Light Fury as well, which is a huge aspect of it, and she kind of seduces Toothless, and Toothless wants to go see her, and he kind of wants to stay with her, just like right off when he first goes to the hidden world. He goes alone to the hidden world without Hiccup, because Hiccup makes a new tail fin for him, and Toothless is a little bit, he's excited, but he's like, is this okay? Like, can I fly without you now? Is that fine? And Hiccup was like, it's okay, but it's okay. And then he then takes off into the hidden world, and he doesn't come back. And that's the part I didn't like very much, because I understand that Toothless is in love with this new female Night Fury, and it's a big thing for him to find a new Fury Dragon, but he doesn't come back on his own. He doesn't come back to Hiccup. Hiccup has to go to him, and then Toothless is kind of forced to go back to save Hiccup from all the other dragons that want to kind of eat him, or kill him at least. And Toothless is really upset about this. And I understand that Toothless would be really thrilled about having mates in his life, but for him to be so upset about going back with his best friend, it's just, I feel like that's a bad message to send, that as long as you find a girlfriend or a boyfriend, it's okay to ditch your friends, because you have that now, and that's more important than that. So could we push that out? And I understand again that they are dragons, so it's kind of a different thing, and the dragons should have a mate, maybe. I don't know. So yeah, there's a lot to it. But I didn't really like that they didn't come back. There was some heartful moments with Toothless and Hiccup, especially when they're about to say goodbye for the last time. I was about to send Toothless off, and Toothless is having a hard time with it, because he possibly understands that, okay, this is goodbye for good. Where before he was like, I'm just gonna visit her, and then he kind of lost track of time. Maybe I don't know. He is a dragon after all. It's a lot more primal than what we understand, possibly. And there's some really lovely moments there when they get to say goodbye and Toothless takes off. And I like those moments because it did show that the bond was important between them, but getting the dragons out to safety is more important. And what Hiccup says is that our world doesn't deserve you yet. You're not safe as long as humans are here. So you're not safe with me because humans would always try to pursue you and hurt you. And that's very, very real. That's a very real topic. And I thought about it, and because I wasn't really upset because I knew it was going to happen, but if you sat with a feeling like you were upset that they split up like this, just imagine if you lived like a few hundred years ago and there were wars going on and humans used to use horses a lot for war, as a real life example. And these horses, millions of horses died in war by the control of humans. These horses did not ask to be there. So if you lived back then and you had a horse and you had the choice between sending all the horses somewhere off where no human could use them for war or for ill in any way, but you would also have to give up your own horse friend, would you do it? I mean, I would, because it's not about us. It's not about human being with horses or being with dragons. It's about the dragons. It's about the dragons being safe. And they're not safe as long as humans are around. Because even if one human or a group of human or a million, even if a million humans are like Hiccup, it's not enough. Because the majority is destructive and they will hurt them. And it's very real. And normally with animated movies, they tend to make a story that's imaginary. So you can be like, oh, I wish the world was like that. I wish it was like that. But How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World got very real. Because it's the exact same thing we're facing right now with the world dying because of our pollution and because we don't care about fishing the oceans dry and breeding animals and cutting down rainforests to make room for those animals and make food for them. And like this destructive behavior that we're just doing because they have to be room for us. It's exactly the same thing, and that's why the world is dying, and that's why the earth will die eventually. Even if it's in a few hundred years or a few thousand years, they will die because humans as a species are too destructible. There's not enough good ones out there. There's not enough, because there might be a few thousand or even a million that are recycling stuff, that choose to drive electric cars, that don't throw batteries into the nature or whatever. There might be people that try to generally save the planet, save their home. But then on the other side of the world there's poachers killing everything, slaughtering animals, causing extinction, cutting down the rainforest to make room for livestock that a lot of people in the Western world then eat. It's a cycle because the whole world connects together. You say that, okay, they are bad down wherever that they grow all our food, but they are making that food, they're cutting down the rainforest to make room for food for us, to sell it to us. And this got very, very political and very, very real, but that's the exact same message that the hidden world is trying to send. And that's a very, very big load to put into a movie that's essentially for children, for a young audience. And that's just, that got so real. Like that humans are not, we can't, because we're so destructible. And there's a part of me that likes the truth in that, because as grim and as horrible as that is, it's true. That's what's happening right now, right in front of us. We're still doing it. We're still exploiting animals, exploiting the world, exploiting nature, exploiting everything. Just like dragon hunters were, just like Grimmel was, just like Draco wanted to do. It's very real, and that's a powerful statement, but also it might be a little bit, it's too much. Like, that's a lot to put on you. I understand it, and it makes perfect sense that the dragons aren't safe, because for as long as dragons has been around with humans, there has been war and terror and everything going on, and it's relatable. And that's why I understand why they wanted to do this with the hidden world, but it's so real, and it's sad. It's sad because it's real. That's the best thing I can say, and it makes the movie powerful in certain parts, but also makes it kind of less enjoyable, because when you watch a movie you want to forget the real world. You want to just live in this universe where things worked out. But it's also kind of beautiful in the sense that Hiccup's idea of his perfect world doesn't work out. It doesn't work. In the real world it doesn't work, and it's taken him so long to realize that, but he finally realized it, and he lets go to protect what he loves. If you love something, you have to let it go. But then again, then Toothless gets another lover, and then has he really lost anything? That's the entire thing with the Light Fury is kind of clouding up the whole message, because, oh well, Toothless is so happy because he got this girl, he got this support cushion, as I tend to call her. And I don't hate her. I liked her more than I thought I would. She was very cute. She makes some really, really cute noises. Something like that. Something like that. They were very cute. They were like a light version of Toothless classic, like noises, and they just worked really, really well. So I liked her a lot more, and she was pretty powerful. There was a lot of things that wasn't explained. Like, she could vanish, and she taught Toothless that in like one night, pretty much. Like, he just did it, and I was like, what? And one thing that bothered me was that Draco's Bewilderbeast is in the hidden world, but it's never described how he got there. What is he doing there? Nobody knows. It's not even addressed. He's just sitting there warring in the crowd, and you're like, I know that guy, but you never see him again after that. And I'm like, what? What are you doing? What are you doing there? And the fact that there's more than one Light Fury, she's not the last of her kind, there were several more in the hidden world, is not addressed either. We don't hear anything about it. They're just there, and you're just like, but wouldn't you make a comment on that, Hiccup? Wouldn't you be like, oh, there's more, she's not the last of her kind, but Toothless is? That's kind of a big deal, don't you think? For like a person that's really engaged in dragons and dragon like existing in different species and stuff. Wouldn't you notice that and comment on it? I don't understand. There's a lot of things in Hidden World that wasn't explained. The movie was extremely fast paced. You didn't really get to stay with something for very long. It was moving forward very rapidly. You didn't really take time to like breathe. It was just moving along. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but we didn't really see that much of the hidden world as I was hoping we would. We didn't understand much of it, like how did the dragons survive down there without sunlight? There was a big crystal, yes, but how does that work? How is there so many dragons? How does all the dragons know when to go there? Because even if Toothless and his gang goes there, will all the dragons of the worlds go there? There's gotta be some dragons out there that didn't get the memo, right? I mean, there was a lot of things that wasn't explained. And of course there was this entire thing of the Light Fury, and just like it worked okay, but I still think she might not have been necessary to be there. But it was just like the love theme was so, it also was a little bit overthrowing with the love theme, because everybody just got together apparently, like Hiccup and Astrid, Toothless the Light Fury, Vulcan Snotloud, Arid and Gobber, and Roughnut and Fishlegs. Like, pretty much everyone just mingled at the end, and I was like, we don't really need everyone to suddenly just fall in love at the same time. Could you please take it easy with that? Because love is an important theme, but it's also a theme that's used in movies so many times. It's seen so many times, so if you use it, you have to be kind of clever about it and not just do like generic love stuff. And it was very forced, very, very forced love things. But that aside, that was what I liked most about the movie. I also mentioned it in my spoiler-free review. Was Grimmel. I thought Grimmel was an amazing villain. He was very, very engaging. He was charismatic and fun, and he was, you know, he was dangerous at the same time. You respected him, but you could still laugh with him at some of the things. And his comments were like, it was just so. Did that just happen? Did he just seriously say that? There's this one scene where he's inside of Hiccup's house because he broke in, because he is reckless as, oh my god. And he was like, he was sitting there and being like, Chieftain Hiccup. Do you say Hiccup or do you say Hiccup? What do you prefer? And I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing in his house in the first place? What the hell is going on? And I love that about him because he was unpredictable and very relatable and very engaging, and you were just, I was right with him. And the Death Gripper dragons were very cool. I like them a lot. They were very powerful. The scorpion tail they have, I could kind of live without that, but he's using the venom from that, and that kind of makes sense, I guess. But I also would have liked that to be more explained, how he used the venom from the Death Grippers, but it wasn't really explained at all. So that was a shame. One of my favorite scenes with Grimmel was when Ruffnut accidentally gets left at the island where Grimmel is staying, and he has her as a prisoner, and she just talks and talks and talks and talks and blares for I don't know how long, and Grimmel is just there like, I can't take it anymore, and lets her out because he just can't stand her anymore. But then we kind of figure out that, okay, that was his plan. He follows her as she goes home again. So he was clever all the way through. But just that Ruffnut was really awesome in this movie. She was hilarious. She was really, she was one of my favorites. And in this movie as well, out of the main Vikings. She was really good. So I definitely enjoyed that. There were some scenes, I guess the scenes with Toothless and the Light Fury, they were okay as well. They were very well animated, but they just didn't really speak to me as strongly as some of the other things. I mean, of the new aspects, I definitely like Grimmel more because, well, it was very predictable. It was very predictable. A lot of the things were in the movie. My absolute favorite scene in the whole movie is where Grimmel is riding on the Light Fury. He's controlling her with the venom from the Death Grippers, and he's riding her, and Hiccup and Toothless is going to save her, and Grimmel manages to shoot down Toothless with one of the arrows with the venom in. So Toothless gets knocked out mid-air, and Hiccup jumps from him in time to kick Grimmel off the Light Fury, but Grimmel holds on to him. Hiccup pulls off the mind control device from the Light Fury and tells her to save Toothless, and then Hiccup lets go of her, and she's like, what? You can just see like did you just do that? And then she flies to save Toothless, and Hiccup is falling down, and Toothless lands over, she pulls Toothless over to like this little cliff, so Toothless is safe, and you just see Hiccup falling down, and then you see Grimmel just like crawling his way on top of like Hiccup, and he just pulls off Hiccup's the wings he had from his flight suit. Grimmel just rips it off into pieces, just tears it while he just holds on to Hiccup. Like it's Grimmel's kind of final cramps before dying, you know, that's what he's doing. He knows he's gonna die, and he's just like, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna definitely drag you with me. And it's just such a vicious scene, but it's so powerful because it's played in slow motion as well. So you can just see Grimmel tearing this equipment apart, like really viciously, and he just looks insane at the same time. I love that. It was so powerful and so freaking cool because Hiccup was just there, like, of course he didn't like it, he didn't enjoy it, but he was like, he knew he was gonna die, so he just kind of, he didn't fight it too much. He was just gonna die, and then from the sky comes the Light Fury and grabs Hiccup up. So Grimmel actually holds on to Hiccup's artificial foot, his prosthetic foot, and then Hiccup takes it off, and Grimmel falls into the ocean, and the Light Fury flies away with Hiccup. So that was a really epic scene. I just loved that, those few seconds of just that struggle between Grimmel and Hiccup, because they are like very directly parallels, where Hiccup chose to help dragons and Grimmel chose to hunt them. So that was really powerful. It definitely was. So all in all, I liked the movie. The soundtrack was not stunning, because the movie is known for having stunning soundtracks. It wasn't that stunning. You could still, the original theme was there a few times, but it wasn't really anything too new and exciting or anything. So that was a bit of a shame, because we're used to this really good soundtrack. It was the same composer and everything, and it wasn't a bad soundtrack, it just wasn't as powerful. And there's a lot more scenes in the movie that I haven't covered here, but I could talk for hours if I had to cover everything. But there was, I mean, there's also the whole thing with Hiccup and Astrid getting married, of course. I think it's fine. I don't really care about it. I know a lot of you guys are really excited about that, but I don't really care. Because, well, a lot of you are like, why would I not care? It's so, oh my god, it's so awesome. Like, a lot of people really just intensely want them to be together. But I'm just like, when I look at it, like, what choices do they have? What else should Hiccup pick? Ruffnut? It's Astrid or Ruffnut. Like, which do you go with? It's just so, it's so obvious that, of course, they would be together, because who else would he pick? There's no one. So I'm not trying to undermine. If you really love them together, go for it. And they are good together. They work very well together, but I'm just not romantically invested in it as much, because it's just, it's what it is. That's not what I watched the movie for. I watched it for the dragons and for the bond that Toothless and Hiccup share. So there's also the ending, where we kind of jump forward in time, and Hiccup is around maybe 35 or something, around that age, and then they have 2 children. Astrid and Hiccup has 2 children, and Toothless and the Light Fury has 3 babies. Hiccup and Astrid sails with their kids to the hidden world for some unknown reason. Maybe Hiccup was just like, I have to see him, or maybe he wanted to show his kids dragons or something. I don't know what the cause is, but he shows up, and Toothless comes out, and he recognizes him, and it's a big reunion, and then Hiccup flies on Toothless with his kids. And it's all very happy-go-lucky, and the baby night lights fly with them as well, and the Light Fury is there as well, and Stormfly comes out as well, and yeah, it's all very happy. It's a happy ending in that sense. So they are separated, but Hiccup and Astrid and such can still go visit if they want, I guess. Unless they were taking a chance by going, I don't know, but they definitely still remember each other. So that's kind of fine to give it like a little bit of more of a soft ending for the younger audience as well. Because the movie was, it was scary at times. It was quite terrifying at certain times, definitely. So I think it was a fine ending. It's kind of cliche. It's kind of seen 1,000 times before. And that's my biggest problem with this movie, that a lot of it was predictable because of the theme it chose. Yeah, it was just, it was okay. I liked it. I liked it overall. Not revolutionary, but I liked it overall, and I think it's a fine ending. If you're gonna wrap the story up and you want to go with the love theme and you want to include a new Fury Dragon, then this was the best. This was the best outcome. So I think overall the movie was quite alright. I would definitely watch it again. It was enjoyable, but it doesn't get me jumping up and down in excitement because I thought it was so epic. Because I didn't. It had good animation and the story was okay. It was okay. I liked it better than the second one. I liked this one better than the second movie, but I didn't like the second movie very much. So it doesn't get near the quality of the first movie, in my opinion. Not even close, in my opinion. It's okay if you think otherwise. That's completely fine. So yeah, there's a lot to cover. There's a lot of weird things, and it's just I would love more explanation on the Light Fury, because when Grimmel sees her, he just takes one look at her and sees that she's white. And then he's like, a female? Like he knew she was a female, but did he know that because she was white? So are all Light Furies females? I mean, it was kind of, I would like to have that explained more, because there were other Light Furies in the hidden world. So what if they're all females and they're all just gonna cling to Toothless? Why is he only with one, right? Like Grimmel did mention that the Furies mate for life, so that's why he picked her, maybe. But still, I would like more explanation, and like how did he identify that, and what about the other Light Furies in the hidden world? Like what, and why is that not as significant? How many Light Furies are there? A lot of questions weren't answered, and that's also kind of, I mean, I guess not everything should be answered and given to you, but some things would be nice to have a little bit of an explanation. But yeah, overall, very enjoyable, and I recommend that you check it out if you enjoy the franchise, because it's an alright ending. It is. Definitely. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this review. I could talk more, and I'm sure I will remember something that I didn't mention. But like overall, I mean, I definitely think you should watch it. And if you have watched it already, then let me know if you agree with some of what I said, and in the comment section, any thoughts you have about the movie, really, I would love to hear that. So thank you so much for watching this video, and hopefully I'll see you next time. So long, Dragon Riders.